Hello, my name is Victor and I come from France, from INSA, and I'm 22 years old.
Hello, so my name is Leah, I'm 23. Korea is the best place to be when it's about COVID-19, I think. All my family was actually very worried. Worst country to be, about the coronavirus. But in the end, like the way they managed and stuff, like finally it's, I think, I messed up. Yeah, overall, like because the way Korea, the government managed the coronavirus, like my family was actually very relieved about the fact that actually I was in Korea.
When we wanted to leave France, most of people were very scared, and because there was coronavirus was very present in Korea, even my family was like, no, you're not leaving. Which I said, yes, I'm leaving. So I ended up leaving. In Korea, we were very free to move, very free to go whenever we wanted, and we could still see some people when the rest of the world was absolutely locked down. I think, as Leah said, it was like the best place to be at the best time. And obviously my parents were at first very worried about me leaving. But when I was there, they were, okay, no problem. I'm very confident about you being here. Yeah. And I think, wear a mask is a habit to take, because no French people wear any mask.
Yeah, it's actually not very common in France to wear mask.
Yeah. It's not common, it's like not happening.
Yeah, not happening even,
We never saw anyone wearing masks. It's mostly like surgeon or doc. We never have any like people wearing masks in public.
I think it's mostly in Asian countries that it's like more common to use masks.
I think it was a habit to take, but in the end, because the situation was actually when it was really in the middle of the crisis, we didn't go out a lot. So we didn't have to have the mask all day because we were staying a lot in dormitories. And when the starting to come back and we started to meet some people, it was better. So we could just put the mask sometime. And
I think you have to take off the mask.
Okay, I will just. I think at first it was also kind of complicated. At least everything was a bit complicated at the beginning. Online classes was I think a bit difficult. In France, we're having a lot of exercises with the teachers, and they help us a lot when the courses here were more about a lesson that is taught by the teacher directly to the student. So I was lacking a bit the exercise side where we could discuss and have a real exchange with the teacher. So that was at first a bit difficult for us, but I guess we just adapted to the situation and we ended up with the grade. I choose Professor Chang Hee Cho, who is working on nanoscale optoelectronics materials. One of the class was a bit too difficult for me because it was a quantum mechanics class, and I thought that it could be interesting for me to learn about it, but it happened to be a bit too difficult for me. So I happened to drop the class, but everything happened well. I just discussed with the teacher involved, and he was very comprehensive about my difficulties, so I had the opportunity to just change my classes.
I think the biggest issue was online lectures, and some professors actually had some technical problems with the use of softwares. And also the fact that there's only lectures and not any time to exercise and practice what we learned. And I guess maybe like students in Korea actually do a lot of self-studies, so it kind of compensate, but it's very different from the French way, I would say. Actually I was kind of very surprised by the grades. I thought that I really messed up my exams, but in the end the grades were actually quite.
I think in France, maybe what is asked during the exam is a bit lower level, but they are really precise on the grade, so we have to be very careful. When here, I think the exam were very difficult, but overall the teachers were nice in the grade, so it kind of stabilized in a way.
Maybe it was like relative, like depending on the best student in the class, and then adapted the grades for the other students, maybe. I don't know.
I was also a bit scared when I saw the exam. I was really confused and I didn't know if it was going to happen well, but in the end it happened to be fine.
Yes.
So, good.
I think it is not easy to travel outside of the campus due to the COVID-19. Nevertheless, have you ever traveled in Korea during your stay at Dgist?
No.
because I look Asian, and also because I'm wearing a mask, people are assuming that I'm Korean. And people begin to speak to me in Korean. I'm like, I barely speak Korean, and then they all look so shocked.
I think for me the most difficult I think was like overall social interaction because in our school when we come from in France we have an incredible associative life. We have a lot of people doing a lot of different activities, and we really feel like a big family always together, and we all know each other. And even with the administration and the teacher, everyone are very close. Like you could see a teacher speaking with a student as if they were friends sometimes. And coming here, especially because of the virus and the fact that we couldn't do a lot and couldn't meet a lot of people, I really felt a bit alone and missing that group feeling and all the activities, because I do a lot of activities and I like to even take a lot of time during evening and night to do some sport, to dance, to do, and then obviously there are other things linked to the Korean culture which are quite difficult for me, especially the very strict way to respect the rules, which I am sadly not able to do. I definitely spend a lot of time in Kim-Bap-Jong-gu. We French people, so it might be a cliche, but I think we have quite a lot of expectation in food, and I know that for me it's important, and even if I cook in the dormitories, sometimes I just like to have some different food, and so for me just going to the cafeteria, and so Kim-Bap-Jong-gu, and just having good food and also having the atmosphere of being in the cafeteria, I think was very good. And the people who were cooking here were very nice and always very smiley and happy, so it felt like a good place to be. Usually I hate meat dumplings. I like it. And that's something that actually is very different from what we eat in France. So
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of tonkatsu, which is like fried pork that I like too, but it's something we could see in France, so it's not that different. But the meat dumpling, we don't have it in France. It's okay. I will recommend.
Yeah, actually, I think it depends on what you would expect. If you want to study, Dgist is a good place.
Feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I think. Like the buildings and the teacher are really trying to make you feel comfortable in the work. Dgist is located in Yeonpong, which is like kind of the middle of the countryside, and which makes it a very cool place to live in. There are a lot of trees, the city is very green, and you can exit the city very quickly. So if you just take your bike, you'll be out of the city in less than 20 minutes, something like this. And so it is very refreshing and very calm place to live in. But if you really want to have a lot of fun and you're not really into working, I think it's not your place.
Yeah. Actually, I'm part of the not the committee, but like the group that welcomes foreign students in my school, and like I feel like we have a lot to learn from here, like how to welcome students and how to help them, and big ups to you. It was very, very nice and like very comforting to know that we can rely on you when we have troubles.
Okay, thank you for coming. Okay, thank you.